Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to explain you about option buying pivot strategy. So you can use this strategy on any instrument you want. You can go to Bank Nifty, you can go to Fin Nifty, or you can go to Nifty 50. So let me explain you how the strategy works. So first, I have gone to indicator and I've added this indicator called pivot traditional auto. Okay. Now if you click on setting, I have disabled all the other support and resistance. I've only kept the pivot, support one and resistance one. Okay. So now remember that these pivots are calculated by using previous day data. So it just needs previous day's data to calculate the three levels. Similarly, these three levels are calculated by using previous day data. So, and this level will remain constant for an entire day. Okay. So for this day, that today is like 21st of Jan. So this is my pivot, which is around 48,640. This is my resistance, which is around 49,370. And this is my support, which is 47,800. Okay, so these are the indicators that we need. So let me go through the strategy first. So this is like a bank nifty strategy. You can use it on any instrument you want. We will start the strategy at 9:30. So till 9:30 we will not do anything. We'll wait till the market stabilizes, and then we will first calculate the pivot point. So you can calculate pivot point either before 9:30 or after 9:30. It's fine because the levels remains the same. It doesn't matter what the current price is. So we will calculate pivot, support and resistance level before the market opens. Now we will monitor the spot price of Bank Nifty when the spot price touches any of the calculated levels. Okay, so we are going to do something. So let me explain you on my iPad. What do I mean? So let's say we have three levels. Okay, this is, let's say, 50,000. This is my pivot. This is my resistance. This is my support. And my resistance is 50,100 and my support is 49,900. So these are the three levels that I have calculated. And let's say the market opens at this price and it is ranging here. So we will wait till this current price either touches pivot, resistance or support. It can touch any of the level. So we will wait till it touches that level. Let's say it touches the resistance. Okay, so what I am assuming as per my strategy, that if it touches the resistance, it will either go up or down from this point onward. This is what my strategy is all about. Okay, it's dependent on this assumption. If this doesn't happen, we will make loss. As simple as that. And we have kept a buffer. Let's say the buffer. So I've made a variable. Let's call this buffer as 5. 5 means what? So I'll have a +5 and -5 point of buffer. So if the market is between this range, it means my condition is satisfied. Okay, this is my first condition. Okay, my first condition is satisfied that it has reached any of the three levels. So what will be this? This will be 50,105. This will be 50,095. So between this, if the market price comes, it means my first condition is satisfied. Now, once my first condition is satisfied, I will be okay. Now let's say it has touched. Now I will be getting ATM call and put. So I want both ATM call and put. Let's say we have 50,100 call and we have 50,100 put. And let's say the current price of both the contract is 500. This is 500. This is 500. Now this is an option buying strategy. So we don't need much margin. Whatever the current price is, we are going to buy it at that price. So first condition should be that it should reach any of the level. After it reaches one of the level, I'm going to calculate at the money call and put. I'm going to get the contract. I'm going to get the current price. So this is 500. This is also 500. And I will wait. So I have made another variable called profit loss. Let me check the variable name. So I've made another variable called profit loss point. Let's call it PLP. Okay, this is 30. Now these two variables you can change as per your requirement because these two are the most important variable for this strategy. What is this PLP? So if the current price is 500, okay, I'll place a limit order or I will not place a limit order. I'll wait till this 500 reaches to 530. I'll call this as buy level. Okay. Similarly, this will also have a buy level of 530. Now what will happen? Either the market will move up or the market will move down. If the market moves up, this 500 will reach 530. Okay. And the moment it reaches 530, I'm going to take the position. I'm going to place a limit order at 530. The moment the current price reaches 530, I'm going to place a limit order at 530, or you can also place a market order. It's up to you. Now, let's say if the market goes down, then this 500 will reach 530, and I'm going to place a market order or a limit order at 530. Now, I'm going to take position in any one of the contract. If I take position in this contract, I'm not going to take the position in the other contract. If I'll take the position in this contract, I'll not take position in this contract. Okay, let me just show you the theory. When the spot price touches any of the level, place a limit order at the money call and put option with a 30-point buffer. So I'm going to place a limit order with a 30-point buffer. Now wait for execution. Only one of the order, call or put, should be executed. We will not take position in both call and put simultaneously. So we have to take position in any one of the instrument. Now let's say you have taken the position in call. Okay, at 530, you have taken the position. Now what you will do? What is the exit rule? So the exit rule is set a stop loss and take profit of 30 point, and the trade will end either with a 30-point loss or a 30-point profit. So we have taken position at 530. We will have a take profit of 560 and we will have a stop loss of 500. That's it. Okay. Now either the current price will breach my take profit or it will breach my stop loss. If it breaches my take profit, we will make a profit of 30 points. If it breaches the stop loss, we'll lose 30 points. Now this entire strategy is dependent on this uh, profit. What is the variable name? Profit loss point. How much you are ready to risk. Okay, and you can change this to, like, you can change the profit you want to 2 into this PLP, and stop loss will be 1 into PLP. Like, I leave it to you how you want to execute this, but this is like a 1:1 profit loss strategy. Now this strategy, uh, the main thing that makes this strategy profitable, might be profitable, I don't know if the strategy is profitable or not, will be getting the good levels. Right now I'm using pivot point to get the level. If you have any other way of getting the levels, you can use that approach also, because getting the right level will make your strategy good. Otherwise you might make losses in the strategy. So I have used pivot point to calculate the level. You can use some other approach. So set the stop loss and take profit at 30 point. The trade will either end with a 30-point loss or a 30-point profit. And we will only take one trade per day under this strategy. So either we will take a trade in call or we will take the trade in put. And if you think about this strategy will only make profit when there is a sudden movement in one direction, right? Only then it will make profit. Otherwise it will not make the profit. So I hope you have understood the strategy. Now let me explain you how to use the strategy. Okay, so this is the entire code that I have. I have pasted the same code on Google Colab link. So you will be getting this Google Colab link. We need two libraries for this. One is Fire's version 3 and one is Pendulum. Now there is one drawback of Google Colab. Each time you execute a code, you have to install the library again. Okay, so these two library you have to install, only then you will be able to run my remaining code. And one more thing, when you want to run this type of code in a Jupyter notebook, you have to write this extra code, which is required to run asynchronous programming. Okay, if you want to implement asynchronous programming in your code, you need to write this line of code. That's why we have this line of code. Then we have the parameter. These are all the parameter, like you have to specify your client ID, secret key, redirect URI. This is the strategy name, which is option pivot point. This is the parameter, like this strategy is on Bang Nifty. Strike count means, now I'm going to start a WebSocket for this strategy, and WebSocket includes 10 point out of the money call, 10 point out of the money put, 10 point in the money call and in the money put. So total 40 instrument real-time data I'm going to get. So if you want to change this, you can change this. Like for this strategy, 10 is not required. Even if you write 3 or 4, it's fine. It will subscribe for less number of stocks. So this variable, it's better if you change it to, like, since we are dealing with at the money call and put, so, or let it be, let it be 100, it's fine, 10. Then strike difference. Now in Bank Nifty, the difference between two strike is 100. right? So you have to write this 100. If it is Nifty, the strike difference will be 50. Account type will be paper. If you want to implement it in the live market, you have to change this to live. It will be implemented in the live market. Then this is the current time zone. Now the problem with Jupyter Notebook is, like the Google Colab is, there the time zone is US time zone. So you have to specify which time zone you want to run your code in. So I want to run this code in Indian time zone. So I have written, if exchange is NSE, my time zone will be Asia Kolkata. My start time will be 9:30. You can change the start time and end time. Quantity you can change. Right now it is 75. And these are the three important variable. Like this is not the important variable. We have a buffer. You can change this also, and profit loss point. Okay, these are the input parameters. So first you will install the library. You will install this code. You will install this. Then you have to install all the packages. These are all the packages required. Now here I have provided you the code. Now once you run the code, now there is no guarantee that Google Colab will run as per our requirement. It's better to run it in your local system, but still if you want, you can run it. It will be able to execute. You will be able to execute the code for during the market hours. So for testing purpose, you can run it in Google Colab. For real life environment, it's up to you. If you want, you can run it on Google Colab itself or in your computer. Now, once you are done running the strategy, then you can run this code to see what all trades you have got on that day. Okay. Now, what are the files that are generated? Let me explain you that. So let me just copy. Okay. Before copying the code, let me explain you the files. So first file will be access.txt. When you execute your code for the first time in a day, we have to generate an access token, right? And without that access token, you won't be able to proceed ahead. So this is the first file that will be generated. Let me show you how it looks. I'll just copy the code. This is my access token code. Copy and paste. So these are the packages that are required. I'm using Python 3.12.8 for this. You have to install Fios API version 3. You have to install Pandas. You have to install setup tools. If you see PKG resources error, I'll repeat. If you see any PKG resources error, you have to install setup tool. Pendulum library is used for dynamic time zones. This is the strategy that I have explained. These are my credential. Make sure you change this with your credential, whatever your client ID, secret key, and redirect URL is. Then we have imported the library. Now in some computers, you see SSL related error. So if you don't want this error, you can write this code. In some computer, it is not required, so you can comment it. Then I've created a log file. Now what is the strategy name? The strategy name is option buying pivot. So it will create a log file. You can see we have a log file here called option buying pivot with the current date .log. And this is how the log file will look like. So it will start when you start the strategy. Now you see we got our strategy condition satisfied at 11:36. Okay, and at 11:36 36 itself, we have calculated 30 point level, right? So for call price, if the call price reaches 725, I'll take the position. For the put, if it reaches 660, we'll take the position. And in how many minutes? In 10 minutes. See, from 36, we waited till 43. At 43, our condition was satisfied. So we have taken the long position. So this was the contract name at this price. So this was the desired price. We got the trade at this price. And in few minutes, from 43 to 46, our sell condition was also satisfied. So we have gone long at 730 and we have closed the position at 760. So we have made a profit of 30 points. So this is how the log file will look like. Remember that in this strategy, we will only take position in any one of the contract, either call or put. And if it makes loss, you have made loss for that day. If you have made profit, you have made profit for the day. Of course, you have the liberty to edit the code and you can run it multiple times. Now, if it will create another file called call by underscore today's date.csv. In this file, you'll see the trade information. So at 11:43 for this contract, I have placed we have taken the position at 732. It was a buy position. Stop price was 695 and take profit was 755. And this was the spot price. And this was the quantity. Now spot price has moved from 823 to 928. It has moved up by 100 point. So our call price has also moved from 32 to 760. So I'm selling this. My take profit has breached. See, we have taken position as 732. My take profit is 755 and we have closed our position at 760. Okay, you can increase your order precision by placing a limit order. If you place a market order, then you will not get a good price. But if you place a limit order, you will get a good price. And this was the time. At 43 we entered, at 46 we have closed. So this strategy will only make profit if there is a sudden movement in any one of the direction. And it will also create a pickle file. Now, what is the pickle file? Now, when you run this strategy, it might happen that your strategy, you have stopped your strategy in between and you're rerunning the code again, right? If that is the case, then you want to continue from where you have left, right? So for that reason, we have to store the data somewhere. Now, for storing purpose, you can either use a database or you can use some other thing. I'm using the pickle file. Okay. So whatever data I want to store, I'll store it in the pickle file. Later, when I rerun the code, I'll read the data from the pickle file and I'll continue the strategy from where I have left. Okay. So you can say my pickle file is acting like a database. You'll understand how I'm using it once I go through the code. Okay. So these are all the files that will be created when you run it for the first time. I'll repeat, when you run this code for the first time, it will check if I have this access token file or not. If the file doesn't exist, it will run this code. So what this code will do, it will try to it will ask you to authenticate yourself. Now, how does the authentication work? See, if I run the code, it will show me, it will take me to the browser. Okay, let me delete this file first. Okay, let's say I don't have this access.txt file. If I run it, it will take me to the browser and it will ask me to verify myself. Now I'm already verified, so it is already taking me to the URL. In your case, you have to write your ID, you have to write your TOTP, and you have to write your code. Only then it will take you to this website. So just copy this link and just paste it on the terminal. Now the moment I press enter, a new file will be created. The file name is access 2025-01-21. So this is how we verify ourselves. Now, if you want to understand this code in more detail, I have a video on YouTube. You can go through it to understand how this code works. Okay, I'm not going in detail because this is something I've already discussed, which is related to verifying yourself. Okay, so we have created a log file. We have verified ourselves. Now we can start with the actual strategy code. One more thing I'll repeat. The two parameters you want to change for this strategy is buffer and the profit loss. I hope you have understood. If you have not understood, you can rewatch my previous part of this video where I've explained what is this buffer and what is this profit loss point. Okay. After getting our access token, the first thing is making a start time and end time object. So I'm creating a current time object. Then I'm creating the start time and end time object by taking the start time parameter. So see, the start hour start minute is 9:30, end hour end minute is 15:15. So our strategy will start at 9:30 and our strategy will end at 15:15. Okay. Now, if you understand options, you know that this will never happen. If you have taken the position, your position will be closed quickly or it will be in either profit or loss quickly. Okay. If you wait for so much of time, then definitely you'll make a loss because it's an option buying strategy and time is against you. So the faster you take the position, the faster you close your position is better for you. Otherwise, you're destined to make loss. Okay. So we have created the start time, end time object. So if I run the code, it will print the start time, end time. Then I've created two more objects. One is fires object, one is fires async object from the fires model. So have I created two objects? Fires for a normal API call and fires async for a asynchronous call. What is asynchronous? You can watch my other video to understand. I'll just explain you why we are using async. Like, see, there are two things I want to do in this. One is fetch real-time data for all the tickers. This is one thing. So I have to use WebSocket. And the other thing is I have to check my entry condition, my take profit condition, all the strategy related stuff I want to run. And both of them I want to run at the same time. If you use synchronous programming, then this is not possible. Because in synchronous programming, one thing will happen. Either you're running this or you're running this. Both cannot be executed at the same time. So if you want to run both the thing at the same time, you have to use the concept of asynchronous programming, which is possible because of a library called async.io. This is the library responsible for running two things at the same time. Okay. So Fires support asynchronous programming. So that's why I've created Fires async object. Okay. Now, after creating an object, we need to fetch the option chain. So after fetching the option chain, we will get the expiry. There are three things I will get. First, I'll fetch the option chain. How did I got this code? If you go to documentation, just go to the documentation version 3. So if you go to data API, they have an option for option chain. When you fetch option chain, you get multiple information. Like you can get list of all the expiry. So I'm getting the nearest expiry. Then I will get the current price, whatever the current spot price is, and I will get list of all the symbols for which I want to start WebSocket for. Okay. So if I run the code, see, you'll see all the information now. So first it is specifying the start time, end time. Then it is specifying the current expiry. So the nearest expiry is 30/01/25 for Bank Nifty. This is the current spot price, and this is the list of all the instrument for which I want real-time data for. So I'll start the WebSocket on all the symbols. Now, if you go back to my Google Colab file, uh, I'll just quickly explain one more time. This is the file that you will be getting. So first, I suggest you do it in the local computer, but still you can run it on Google Colab. You have to run this, which will install the library. This code is not needed in your local file. Okay, in .py file, this code is not needed. Like as I told you, the asynchronous code. If you're using asynchronous code, you need this in Jupyter Notebook. You don't need this in a .py file. So even when you're running this code in your local computer, and if you want to run it in Jupyter Notebook, so you have to add this. Otherwise, this is not needed. This is the basic inputs, and this is the libraries we are installing. Here you have the code. And let's say you are done running the strategy. If you want to see the list of all the trades, you can run this code. This code will print the data frame, which will show you all the trades. Okay, so I can show you another file. So this is another file that is still running. You can see it is executing. I'll just stop and show you how it looks like. Let's say you want to see how many trades are executed by this strategy. So you stop it. After stopping, you can run the next cell and you will see list of all the trades. So these are all the trades taken by this strategy. So it's an iron condor strategy. Now, if you go to files, see if you go to files, you'll see all the files, the same file that were generated in my local files are generated here. Like there is an access file, there is a pickle file for database, there is a CSV file. So this is the CSV file which we are reading to show you the list of all the trade, and the other optional file are created by Fire's API itself. Now in Jupyter Notebook, in Google Colab Jupyter Notebook, when you run it for the next day, all this file will be gone. So keep in mind, if you want to save this, once you are done running the strategy, download it to save it in your computer. Otherwise, all this file will go away once you close the program. Okay. Again, next day you have to first install the package, verify yourself, get the access token, and execute the strategy again. So this is how you have to use this file that I will be giving you. Now, if you click on code, okay, when you click on the code, you'll see the actual code that I'm explaining you right now. The entire code I have pasted it here. Since it's too long, so I'm just clicking on view and click on show hide code. So this will hide the code. No need to see the entire code, right? It's too long. So these are the important part of my code. Okay, first installing the package. In order to run async IO, we need this code. These are my inputs. These are the packages I want. This is the actual code, and this is once you are done running the strategy. Whatever trades you have taken, if you want to look at those trades, you can run this code. It will show you list of all the trades. The same trades that you see here. This file. Similar file will be shown over there. Okay. So now we have got the list of all the symbols. Now what we want to do, we want to create a data frame where I will store information for all the symbol. So I'm going to fetch real-time data for all the symbol, right? And I'm going to get some data. So if you go to the documentation and if you go to WebSocket and if you go to market data API, these are all the data that they send you when you start the WebSocket. Like what is the symbol name, what is the LTP, previous close price, high price and all. Everything will be sent to you. So I've created a data frame with all this column name like name, LTP, average trade price, open price and all. So this will be saved in this df variable. So df is the variable in which I will be storing the data that I'm getting real time from the WebSocket. Okay, and this df variable is one of the most important variable because whenever I want the current price of any instrument, I have to look into this df variable. Okay, now I need historical data in order to calculate pivot point, right? So this code will help me to calculate pivot point. So let me just copy this and paste it. So what I've done, I am fetching historical data. So I'm fetching historical data for 5 days. This is the date. So from where I got this code, I got this code from data API, click on history. So from here, I've copied the code. Okay, I'm fetching the last 3 days historical data and I'm printing the historical data. You can see if I run the go, it will print historical data. Then I created a function called calculate CPR. So this will calculate the pivot point and then I'm printing the pivot point. So calculating pivot point is quite easy. This is the formula. For pivot, you have to add high, low, close, divide by 3. Resistance is 2 into pivot minus low, and support is 2 into pivot minus high. That's all. So if I run the code, first it will show me daily historical data, then it will show me the pivot point. You can see this is the daily historical data for the last 3 days, and these are the current points. So this is my pivot point, this is my resistance, and this is my support. See, this is pivot, resistance, and support. So this is how you calculate pivot point by using historical data. When I say historical data, you just need 1 day data, to be honest. You don't need like a lot of historical data. You just need previous day, open, high, low, close. That's it. Now we have pivot points too, which will remain constant for the entire day. Then I created a function which calculates the ATM option. Okay, so this is the simple code. The function name is get OTM option. If you specify the points as 0, it will give you ATM option. So I'm just calculating the OTM strike, and from the option chain, I'm getting the OTM option. That's all I'm doing. So if you call this get OTM option, it will give you the call option name. If you call this option, the function with P, it will give you the put option name. So if I run this code, now it will show me the call option, put option shortlisted. So this is the call option, this is the put option. Now remember, this ATM call and put will be decided depending on when you run the strategy. If you run the strategy at 10, so at 10 a.m., whatever the ATM call and put is, those will be shortlisted. If you run it at, let's say 1 p.m., so at that time, whatever the ATM call and put will be, those will be saved. Okay. So this is the reason why I'm storing the data. Because if I'm starting the strategy at 9:30, at 9:30, whatever my call and put is, and if I've taken the trade, I need the same call and put. And if I don't save this information somewhere, then I won't be able to get the same call and put. Each time I run the strategy, I'll get a different call and put because ATM will keep changing. Right. So this is one of the reason why we needed to store the data in a pickle file. So when you run it for the first time, let's say you run it at 9:30, so the whatever the call and put will be saved into the pickle file. And when you run it again later, it will first check, do I have the pickle file? If I have the pickle file, read the data from the pickle file. Otherwise, create the ATM call and put. So that's my next piece of code. Let me just show you. So after getting the call and put, I'm logging that started. After started, I have created 3 function. One is store function. Store function will simply store the data into the pickle file. Load function will simply load the data from the pickle file. We have this take limit order, take limit position function. This function will simply place the limit order. Okay, it will take the ticker name. It will take the action. Action means buy or sell. It will take the quantity and it will take the limit price. So just send this parameter and call this function. It will place the limit order for you. Then we have account type. Now, if my account type is paper, we will load the data from the pickle file and we will save it in the paper info variable. If my account type is not paper, then we will create a variable called live info. So in live info, we will be storing the data. Now, what all data we will be storing? In paper info, we will be storing data like this. Like we have a paper info variable where I have call by, put by, condition. So call by key value pair will save information about the call leg. Put by will save the information about the put leg, and condition will save the information about the condition. Now in call by, put by, what all parameters I have? I have parameters like option name, trade flag, buy price, current stop price, current profit price, fill data frame, underlying price level, quantity, PNL. So these are all the parameters that I have in both the legs. We will go to this in more detail once we go through the actual strategy code. Okay, so these are all the things which are needed before we do anything. So now I'm going to write the code to start the socket. So what I have here, this is the code which is responsible for starting the WebSocket. So whatever data I'm getting, I'm saving it in the df variable. Okay, you can see on message, whatever message I get, I'll save it in the df variable. And to start the socket for all the instrument, you just have to call this, you have to run this code, fires data socket code. You have to specify list of all the symbols and it will run it for you. So this will start the socket. The moment you run this piece of code, it will start the socket. Whatever data you're getting is being saved in the df variable. So here I have created a main function, and this main function I am sending it in the async io.run function. So what async io.run will do, it will keep running this main function again and again. Inside main function, we are running this main strategy code function. Now what will happen? The socket will do its work, that is getting the data from the broker and saving it in a df variable. And this is my main strategy code, which will also be running every second. So inside my main strategy code, I've written a while loop which will keep running forever. I'm fetching the current time, and I have written three conditions here. Okay, after three condition, I'm sleeping for 1 second. If you want, you can remove this 1 second, but I suggest you keep it 1 second because this is not like high frequency trading. This is mid frequency. So we will wait for 1 second and we'll do something after that. So we are getting the current time, and I have three conditions. So the first condition is to close the program. Okay, once I reach the end time, let's say the end time is 15:10. So after 15:10, so this is my end time. I'm adding 2 minutes to this. So I'll wait for 2 more minutes. If end time is 15:10, I'll end the code at 15:12. So if you go inside this condition, I'm just simply logging close program and sys.exit. Sys.exit is used to close the program. Now, after every 5 seconds, I'm running this code. And now if you have a requirement that there is a piece of code you wish to run after every 5 seconds, or let's say after every 2 seconds, but not every second. So you can write that piece of code inside this condition. Now there are two things I want to do after every 5 seconds. First is getting the order book and getting the position book. So this line 461 will fetch the position book. Position means getting your current portfolio. And this line 449 will fetch my order book. Now I don't want to fetch this every second. I want to fetch this after every 5 seconds. You can change this if you have a requirement where you want to fetch this every second, you can do that. But I personally think fetching it after 5 seconds or 3 seconds should also work. So once you have the response, then I've created one function called chase order. So this chase order function is for orders. And in the next line, I'm getting the current PNL from my position. Okay, from position, I'm getting the PNL. From after fetching the order book, I'm calling the chase order function. Now, what is this chase order function? Now, in my code, I'm placing a limit order. And sometimes what happens, limit order doesn't get filled instantly. Let's say the current price is 100 and you have placed a limit order at 95. Now, if you have a requirement of getting the fill as soon as possible, but you don't want to place market order, because if you place a market order, you'll get a very weird price. So what we do, we place a limit order at 95. This is just an example. In real life, we won't be having such a huge gap between the current price and the limit price. But let's say you have a limit order at 95. So we'll chase it toward the current price. So I'll increase the limit price by 10 cent. 95, 95.1, 95.2, 95.3. We'll keep doing this till the current price, till the limit price reaches the current price. And the moment they reach each other, the order will get filled. So this I'm going to do every 5 seconds. So after every 5 seconds, my limit price will move toward the current price by 10 paisa. So this is what I'm doing. And I'm also fetching PNL. Now some strategy have a requirement that if my PNL is more than, let's say, 2% of my entire portfolio, then I want to stop everything. So for those type of condition, I'm fetching the PNL. So if you have that requirement, so you can write that code here. So this is your current PNL. You can write the condition like if your PNL, if you have lost like maybe let's say 5,000 rupees in that day, you will close the program. That extra condition you have to write here. So everything is done. Now, okay, there is one more piece of code. That is this last condition. So this last condition will be running every second. And what we are doing in this, we are calling a paper order function. So if my account type is paper, I'll call the paper order function. Else I'll call the real order function. Now these are the two functions that you need to change if you want to implement any other strategy. Everything else remains the same. The only thing that will change is paper order function and real order function. And both paper and real order are exactly same. The difference is in paper order function, when I say place the order, I'm writing it into the CSV file. But in real order, I'm actually placing the order to the broker. That is the difference. Otherwise, both the function are exactly the same. So let's copy both the function. So this is paper order function. This is real order function. I'll just paste it here. Let's go through paper order function first. Once you understand the first function, the next function is quite easy to understand. So I have created some global variable like quantity, paper info. In paper info, I'm storing all the data. DF, where I'm getting real-time data, and this is spot price. So first step is getting the spot price, because this strategy is dependent on the spot price. As the spot price changes, I change my position. Then I'm getting the current time, and I've written a condition that if my current time is greater than start time. So if you execute this code before the start time, let's say you are executing it at 8:30. So from 8:30 to 9:30, nothing will happen, provided that 9:30 is your start time. Once your start time reach, then you're going to fetch all the parameters from your paper info variable. I'll just show you the paper info one more time. See here, you have this paper info variable, and this is the variable that I will be storing it into the pickle file. And I have three things here, three key value pair. One is call by, one is put by, one is condition. So I'm going to fetch all the information from this paper info variable. First, I'm going to fetch the flag, call flag. Then I'm going to fetch the stop price. Now, what is this flag? Now, we have two legs. Okay, we are going to place our order in any one of the leg. If you don't have any order, if you have not placed any order yet for that leg, our flag will be 0. So you see, I initiate the flag with 0. If you see here, trade flag is 0 initially. The moment I take a trade in that leg, I'll change this flag to 1. So this trade flag will help me to know what is the current status of that leg. Have I placed an order on that leg? Yes or no? Or have I closed the position on that leg? So this information, if you want to know, you just take a look at the flag. Flag is 0, no position yet. I have not placed any order, or I don't have any position. If the flag is 1, it means I have placed the order. I have taken a trade. That's what this flag represent. So first I'm fetching this flag info. I'm getting the current call stop price and put stop price. Now, if I have taken a trade before, now see, this code, this entire code, what it is doing, it is reading the data from a pickle file. When you run it for the first time, we initiate the value with this. Okay, my call current stop price is 0, profit price, everything is 0. But the moment I take a trade, all this value will be updated. I'll have the buy price, I'll have the stop price, I'll have the profit price, and all this information will be saved in the pickle file. So if you run this code for the first time, we are getting the 0 values. If you're running this code for the second time, or if you're rerunning it later, then we are going to get the data from the pickle file, whatever data you have stored when you executed it last time, right? So that's what we are reading here. We are trying to read the data from that info variable. So we are going to read the flag information. We are going to read the stop price information, the profit price, the name of the instrument. We have two instruments. So what is the name of both the instrument? What is the buy price? What is the current price? So to get the current price, we have to use the DF variable, because in DF variable, I'm storing the real-time data. Then what is the condition? So initially my condition is false. Okay. So initially my condition is false. So I'm going to fetch the condition, and I'm going to check. What is my first condition? My first condition is if my current time is greater than the end time. This is my first condition. And this is my second condition. That is if okay, I'll just minimize all the condition. Let's go to the first condition. That is if my current time is greater than end time. What to do if my current time is greater than end time? We will close everything, right? So before closing any leg, I have to check what is the flag of that leg. What is a call flag? If call flag is equal to 1, it means I've taken the trade, and now I have to close the position. Now, when I say close the position, I have to change the quantity to 0. I have to update my data frame, and I have to change the flag of flag to 2. So right now the flag is 1. The moment I close the position, I have to change the flag to 2. So here you can see I'm updating the flag. I'm updating the data frame. I'm getting the current price of that instrument, and I'm doing the update. Similarly, if my put flag is 1, means what? It means I already have the position. I need to close this. So I have to update the trade flag. I have to update the data frame. I have to change the quantity to 0. All this I will do once my end condition is satisfied and my flag is equal to 1. Let's say if the flag is 0, it means I have not taken the trade. So this code will not be executed. As simple as that. Now, what is my second condition? My second condition is that if the current price, that is spot price, has reached any of the 3 levels. So that's what I've written. So you can see pivot minus buffer, pivot plus buffer, and spot price is between them. If this is my condition, or support minus buffer, support plus buffer, and spot price is between them, or resistance minus buffer, resistance plus buffer, and the spot price is between them. If any of the three condition is true, that is my spot price has reached the any of the three level, then what should I do? If that is the case, then our first condition is satisfied. So we have to check the condition also. See here, I have made a variable called condition, which is initially false. So my condition should be false. So if my condition is false, so I'm writing it not condition. So strategy condition satisfied. I'm going to get the call name and the put name. At that instance, whatever the call and put leg is, I'm going to get both of them. I'm going to update my paper info variable. What is the name, what is the quantity, everything I'll update. I'll get the current price, I'll get the stop price, and I'll get the profit price. Now how will I calculate the stop price and profit price? See, I'm taking my current price of that call leg and I'm adding plus profit loss point. Remember the profit loss point, which is 30. So let's say this is 500. So 500 plus 30 is my call by LTP. It means if the current price reaches this LTP, then I'm going to place the order. And what is my stop price? Stop price is this LTP minus profit loss point, and my profit is this LTP plus profit loss point. So now I have three level. One is buy level, one is take profit level, one is stop loss level. So all three I calculate when my condition is satisfied. After doing this, I'm going to do the same for put leg, and I'm going to save this information in my paper info variable. I'll repeat again. First, I'm getting the call name and put name. I'm updating the quantity and the option name in the paper info variable. I'm calculating the stop price and profit price. I'm updating all the parameters that I've calculated. Then at the end, I make sure that my condition is true. Initially, this condition was false, but once this code executes, this condition will be true. Why did I do this? So that this code should not run more than once. This code will only run for once when the condition is false. When you execute this code, the condition will become true so that this code will not be executed later. So my buying condition is satisfied. Now after the condition is satisfied, what to do? We have to wait till either my call leg or my put leg reaches that 30-point mark, right? So this is my buy condition, that if my condition is true and if the current buy price is less than the call price and my flag is equal to 0. Remember the flag parameter? Flag parameter represents if I have taken the trade or not. If my flag is 0, it means I have not taken the trade. And what I'm doing here, I'm checking if my call price has moved above the buy price. Let's say the current when the strategy was satisfied, the instrument price was 500 and my buy price was 550. So this is the call price. So I'm checking if the current price is greater than that 530 or not. Right? If all the three conditions are satisfied, it means I'm going to go long now on that leg. So when I say go long, what to do? Write the information in the CSV file, update the flag, trade flag variable. So trade flag I have changed it to 1. So 1 represent I have taken the trade. And at the same time, I'll change the put flag also. So this is the put flag. I'm changing it to 3. Why? Because I don't want to take the trade in put leg if I have taken a trade in the call leg. I want to take a trade in any one of the leg. That's why when I'm updating the flag value of the call leg, I will change the flag of put leg also, so that no trade is taken in the put leg. This is my buy condition. What should be my sell condition? Sell condition is very easy. If my condition is true and the call flag is 1. Okay, this call flag which I've changed here to 1, if this is 1, it means what? It means I've already taken the trade. If you have already taken the trade, you just have to check if the current price has breached either the take profit or the stop loss. So that's what I've done. So if the call price is greater than this profit, or if the call price is less than the stop price, if any of the condition is true, what to do? We have to close the position. So I'll change the quantity to 0. I'll write this information into my CSV file. I'll update the paper info variable, and at the end I'll change the flag to 2. So when my flag is 2, it means what? It means I've already taken the trade. I've closed the trade also. 0 flag represent no trade. 1 flag represent you have taken the position. Anything other than 1 and 2 represent we are done with that leg. We don't have to do anything with that leg. And the exact same thing we have to do with the put also. So if my condition is true and the put by price is if the put price is greater than the level, if that is the case, and if my put flag is 0, then what to do? Then take the position. When you're taking the position, make sure that you change the flag to 1 and change the call flag to 3, so that the call flag should not take any position. The call leg should not take any position. Similarly, if my condition is true and my put flag is equal to 1, I have to check if the current put price has breached either the take profit or the stop loss. If any of the one is breached, it means I have to close the position. Now, when I say close the position, I have to change the quantity to 0. I have to update my data frame, and I have to change the flag. Changing the flag is important because the flag represents what's the status of that leg. After doing all this thing, I'll just save the information into the CSV file. So I have two CSV file, one for call and one for put. So this is call by underscore the current date.csv. This is put by underscore current date.csv. And then at the end, what I'm doing, I'm storing this information into the pickle file. Now storing the data is being executed every second. And this entire code, this entire function is being executed every second. Okay, that's how you design your strategy. Now, what I have done, I have copied the same function, I have pasted it, I have changed the function name to real order. And instead of the variable name as paper info, I have made a variable as live info. Now in live info, in paper info, everything is same, except that here I'm going to place an actual trade, and there I'm just going to write the data to the CSV file. So if you scroll down, everything is same. When my buy condition is true, or let's look at when my sell condition is true. So what is this condition? The first condition is my current time is greater than end time, and the second condition is my flag is equal to 1. If both the condition are true, I have to close the call leg. So when I say close the call leg, what to do? You have to call the exit position function. So if you go to Fire's documentation, if you go to order placement, so there is an option, other transaction, to exit position. So this is what I'm using. You just need to specify the ID and it will close the position for that instrument. So I'm just calling the exit position function. It will close the call leg. The same thing I'm doing it for the put leg. I'm calling the exit position will close the put leg. Now when my buy condition is satisfied, I'm calling this function called take limit position. Remember? See up, if you see, I have a function called take limit position, which will simply place the limit order. You specify the ticker name, you specify you want to buy or sell, you specify the quantity, you specify the limit price. Once you do all these things, this function will simply place the limit order. And after placing the limit order, what will happen? My other chase order function will activate, right? My chase order will keep chasing the order toward. I'll just show you again where the chase order is. See here, I have this chase order function. And let me show you the code inside the chase order. So this is the chase order function. It will first check if my order df is empty. It is going to check, do I have anything in my order book or not? If I don't have anything, why to run this, right? So only run this code if you have some orders in the order book. If you have some orders in the order book, go through all of them and check what is the current name of that order, like the symbol of that order, and what is the current price. Get these two information first. Okay. Once you have these two information, check the type of order. Now, what is the type? See, if you scroll down, if you go to appendix and if you scroll down more, you will find the order type. See, these are the different order type. So for limit order, the order type should be 1, right? So I'm checking if my order type is equal to 1. It means that the current order is limit order. If the current order is limit order, get the name, get the ID, get the limit price, get the quantity, get everything, and then calculate the new limit price. How will I calculate the new limit price? If the current price is greater than the limit price, add 0.1 to it. 0.1 represents 10 paisa. If else, we are going to subtract 0.1 paisa from it, or you can say 10 paisa from it. After updating all the parameter, we will just call the modify order function. Modify order will simply modify the existing order. So that is how this chase order function is working. Okay, coming back to my original function, that is real order function. So if my buy condition is satisfied, I'm just calling this take limit position function. Take limit position function will place a limit order, and that chase order function will make sure that my order is filled. And what if my sell condition is true? If my sell condition is true, again, I'm going to call the exit position function. Okay. And the same thing I'm doing it for the put leg. If my put condition is satisfied, that is if my current price has breached the put buy price level, then we have to update the flag. We have to update the call flag, put flag, both the flag needs to be updated when the buy condition is true. And what? And we have to call this take limit position function, which will place the limit order on the put leg. You have to specify the name. You have to specify one. One represents buy, minus one represents sell, quantity and the put price. If my sell condition is true, then I'll call the exit position function. That is all we have in this function. So both my paper order and real order function are exactly same. The difference is in real order, I'm actually placing the order. In paper order, I'm not placing any order. I'm just writing it into the CSV file. Now this, I had to do it because in Indian broker, they don't have an option for paper trading account. They don't have this option. So that's why I have to do this. If you go for a better broker like Interactive Broker, in that, they have a feature of paper trading account. So I don't have to do this two different functions to implement the paper order feature into my code. This you only have to do when your broker don't support paper trading. Okay. So now I guess the entire code is done. So once you execute the code, what will happen? The first thing will be, it will verify yourself. After verifying, it will create the access token. Then it will create a log file. This is how the log file looks like. It will write all the information, whatever happens in your strategy. If you take any trade, the trade information will be saved in the CSV file. And you will also be having a pickle file where this data is being stored. Now, let's say between the market, let's say you have started the strategy at 9:30 and you have taken the trade till 11. Now you want to start the strategy again. So what you will do, you will delete this pickle file. If you don't delete this pickle file and if you restart your code, it will start from where it has left. So it will not take any trade. If you want to take the trade again, you want to start the entire strategy from scratch, this pickle file needs to be deleted because all the strategy information is stored in that pickle file. And if you run it again, if it spots the pickle file, it will continue from where it has left. Okay, you need to know this. Otherwise, you'll keep rerunning and you'll see nothing is happening. Why nothing is happening? Because I have designed the code in such a way so that it should continue from where it has left. Okay, so if you want this code, you have to comment on this video. Okay, you will get the link. Once you have the link will look something like this, where you first have to install the packages. You have to write this code for running async IO in Jupyter Notebook. If you run the same code in Jupyter Notebook in your computer also, then also you need this code, because in Jupyter Notebook they don't support asynchronous programming. So that is the reason why I have this code. Then you have to update the credential. Make sure you change this credential to your credential. Don't use my credential. Then this is like all the libraries that I'm importing. This is the actual code. When you run it for the first time, it will ask you to verify yourself and it will create a file. Here you can see it will create a file like access.txt file, pickle file, trade file, everything will be created here. Okay. And once you're done running the strategy, if you want to take a look at all the trade, just run this code. It will read the CSV file from the local directory and it will show you the output. So that's how you have to use this. Now, if you want to take a look at the code, click on show code. It will show you the entire code. This code is same what I've explained you. It's just that the code is too long, so I usually hide it. Now it's easy to scroll. This is the main code and the other are like the dependent code. So two parameters you might want to change. One is buffer. I hope you know what buffer represent, and one is profit loss point. Now this also you can change if you want to, let's say, have the greater profit loss, like you want 50 point up and 50 point down. You can also uh, change the profit to loss ratio. Right now it is 1:1. If I lose one, I'm going to gain one. You can change this to, if I lose, I have to lose one. If I gain, I have to gain twice. Lot of things you can do. Okay, you just need to change this code a bit.